Long ago, in the hill country of Ephraim, there lived a woman named Hannah, the wife of a man called Elkanah. Elkanah was a kind and faithful man, and he loved Hannah deeply. But despite his love, their home was not peaceful. Elkanah had two wives, Hannah and Peninnah. While Peninnah had given birth to many children, Hannah remained childless. In those days, to be barren was seen as a curse, a shameful thing. Each year, as they traveled to the house of the Lord in Shiloh to offer sacrifices, Peninnah would mock and provoke Hannah, reminding her of what she lacked. Hannah's heart was heavy with sorrow, though Elkanah tried to comfort her, saying, "Am I not better to you than 10 sons?" Her pain could not be eased by words. She didn't just want a child, she longed for purpose, for the joy of motherhood, for a sign that God had not forgotten her. One year, after the family had eaten the sacrificial meal, Hannah rose and went to the tabernacle to pray. Overwhelmed with grief, she wept bitterly and poured out her soul before the Lord. Her lips moved, but no sound came, only silent cries from the depths of her broken heart. She made a vow. "O Lord of hosts, if you will indeed look on the affliction of your maidservant and remember me, and not forget your maidservant, but will give your maidservant a male child, then I will give him to the Lord all the days of his life." 1 Samuel 1 verse 11. The high priest Eli watched her and misunderstood her silent prayer. Thinking she was drunk, he rebuked her. But Hannah gently replied, "I am a woman of sorrowful spirit. I have poured out my soul before the Lord." Eli, moved by her sincerity, blessed her, "Go in peace, and the God of Israel grant your petition." Something changed in Hannah that day. She left the temple with peace in her heart, her face no longer sad. And in time, God remembered Hannah. She conceived and bore a son, naming him Samuel, which means, God has heard. True to her word, once Samuel was weaned, she brought him to the house of the Lord and gave him over to Eli, saying, "For this child I prayed, and the Lord has granted me my petition. Therefore I also have lent him to the Lord. As long as he lives, he shall be lent to the Lord." 1 Samuel 1 verses 27 to 28. Her sacrifice was great, but her joy was greater. God honored her faithfulness, and Hannah would later go on to have more children, 3 sons and 2 daughters. But her legacy was not just in her children. Hannah's story is one of deep faith and persistent prayer, of a woman who believed even when everything around her told her to give up. Her son, Samuel, became one of Israel's greatest prophets, the one who anointed both King Saul and King David. And before she disappears from the pages of Scripture, Hannah lifts her voice in one of the most beautiful prayers recorded in the Bible, a song of praise, declaring that God lifts the lowly, humbles the proud, and brings life where there was once barrenness. Hannah reminds us, God hears the silent prayers. Sorrow can become joy. Faithfulness, even in pain, is never wasted.
10 prayers of Hannah, based on 1 Samuel 1-2. 1. A prayer of deep distress. O Lord of hosts, if you will indeed look on the affliction of your servant. 1 Samuel 1 verse 11. Hannah poured out her soul to God in bitterness, asking him to see her pain. 2. A prayer for a child. And give your servant a son, then I will give him to the Lord all the days of his life. 1 Samuel 1 verse 11. She made a vow that if God gave her a son, she would dedicate him to the Lord. 3. A prayer of silent faith. She was speaking in her heart, only her lips moved, and her voice was not heard. 1 Samuel 1 verse 13. Hannah prayed silently, showing that true prayer comes from the heart. 4. A prayer misunderstood yet persistent. Eli thought she was drunk, but she answered, I have been pouring out my soul before the Lord. 1 Samuel 1 verse 15. Even when misunderstood, she continued in sincere prayer. 5. A prayer of peace and trust. Go in peace, and the God of Israel grant your petition. 1 Samuel 1 verses 17-18. After receiving the priest's blessing, she left with peace, trusting God had heard her. 6. A prayer of thanksgiving. For this child I prayed, and the Lord has granted me my petition. 1 Samuel 1 verse 27. Once her son Samuel was born, she acknowledged that he was an answer to prayer. 7. A prayer of dedication. Therefore I have lent him to the Lord. As long as he lives, he is lent to the Lord. 1 Samuel 1 verse 28. She fulfilled her vow by giving Samuel back to God's service. 8. A prayer of rejoicing. Hannah's song begins here. My heart exults in the Lord. My horn is exalted in the Lord. 1 Samuel 2 verse 1. She rejoiced not just in her answered prayer, but in the greatness of God. 9. A prayer declaring God's power. The Lord kills and brings to life. He brings down to Sheol and raises up. 1 Samuel 2 verse 6. She praised God's sovereign control over life, death, and all circumstances. 10. A prayer of prophetic hope. He will give strength to his king and exalt the horn of his anointed. For more of these Bible stories, kindly subscribe to this channel. God bless you.